going up for HiyA. So we're gonna see some heavy duty mech very soon, and I don't know if Hydras will be enough to deal with it. Once again, I have to say that the unit combination required of Zerg is just so difficult to really build, because you can either go for Hydras or like Medusa, but the Terran player can respond correctly. Hydras are good against Vultures, but they're bad against tanks. And then Mutas are good against tanks and Vultures, but not good against Goliaths. And it's just very difficult, I think, for the Zerg player. And really, I don't know what Hyvaa is doing with those Hydras right now. He's pushing forward a little bit, but he's mainly hanging out in the middle of the base. I think he knows that he can't exactly just attack now. I don't know what he's oh, he is taking down the temples. That's what he's doing. He's taking out the back temples. But I think HiyA will see this. His SCV is kind of in position to see it. I don't know. I don't know if this will work. If only those Hydras, if only some of those Hydras with lurkers, those temples would go down really quickly. But now he won't be able to take it down. I don't think he does take it down. I think he gives it up. I think that was a mistake by Hyvaa, because really what you want to do, you want to stick, well, okay, you want to adapt your strategy depending on the circumstances, but you also want to stick to a strategy. If he's going to take down those temples, go take down those temples. Don't just take down one temple and leave the rest for later, because then you just wasted a bit of time with your Hydralisk, when your Hydralisk could have been doing something else. Maybe you could have been dropping somewhere, I don't know. There are a lot of Hydras now, by the way, and I think we might see something a push. You can't push, is the problem with just pure Hydras. There are 3 evolution chambers now, though. He will be able to get a lot of upgrades, and HiyA is playing with his mouth wide open. I think he's a little bit worried, maybe. I think the more intense the game is, the more his mouth opens. So I'm hoping, actually, for today, for his mouth to reach his toes, because I want a really exciting match. Not necessarily by HiyA, but I hope one of his games gets a little bit more exciting than macro. Mainly macro. Mainly the players not really doing anything to each other, because right now we don't see any harass. We see HiyA playing so carefully. He's played so carefully all 3 games that he's played so far. He has turrets everywhere. I guess this isn't as careful because he did go for an 8 racks, but he went for 8 racks into 1 CC, into just mech, which is relatively okay. And a dropship is coming out, though, so he is doing something. He's finally decided to do something, but the drones will get out in time. Those vultures get nothing. Those vultures are not able to get any drones, but maybe they will be able to. The drones everywhere are very scared. They're just like being corralled all over the place. Those poor drones have nowhere to run. There are no sunken colonies where they can run into, except for, well, now they have those Hydras, but those Hydras go down to mines. Oh, poor Hydras. And those vultures are going to be able to prevent mining from 2 bases. 2 bases, really, but there is no gas yet, so I think, actually, if I'm looking at this right, HiyA is still running off of 2 gas, and why are all those drones dying? Why are those drones dying? Really, I don't know. HiyA did kind of a bad job with those Hydras. I think HiyA hasn't been positioning his Hydras properly. He's been building a lot of them, but he hasn't been doing anything with them. He hasn't been protecting his base. He hasn't been doing any economic damage. He's just been building and building and building, and really doing nothing. He really needs to, I don't know, he can't wait for HiyA to just be safe in his base and then push out at the right time, because as long as HiyA pushes out at the right time, then HiyA is going to be in a lot of trouble. He's not going to have enough units to deal with this mech force, and this is just really dangerous. I think this is going to be so terrible, and the drones are burrowed, though. Quite clever by, oh, ouch, another drone goes down, but quite clever by HiyA, I'll have to give it to him, but his Hydras are just all over the place. I mean, not all over the place, they're just in one giant clump. They don't really have the mobility required to chase after those vultures. He needs to, I don't know, he needs to not just overreact to 3 vultures by sending all his vultures over to that base. He needs to be able to position those Hydras in the correct areas, and be able to counter this really really huge tank army. This tank army is going to be so dangerous. There are a lot of Hydras though, and some Zerglings, but I don't think this is the correct unit composition. I don't know what he's doing right now. He's at the kind of middle of the base. Maybe he's waiting for the tank army to get to his base, and then maybe he's doing a pincer attack. I feel like he's just mispositioned right now, though. I really do feel like that, and he doesn't have the unit composition required. He doesn't. And he's running into so many mines. 4 Hydras go down just to mines, and those tanks are now sieged. It would be so hard to just approach now, and HiyA has probably secured that 3rd base of his now. He will be able to just continue to pump out all these mech units now that he will have a 3rd gas, and this looks so terrible. This is what a Zerg player does not want to see. That many tanks, that many Goliaths, that many vultures, mines everywhere. Not enough Hydras, and Hydras is walking into the ouch, look at all that red Hydralisk blood. You could drown in that stuff. I bet those Hydras, some of those Hydras are actually just drowning. They're not being killed by siege tanks. They're just drowning in the blood of their brethren. And ouch, Hyvaa does not look very happy about that. Hyvaa kind of looks like I Love UV, actually. But he does not play like I Love UV. And really, this is pretty terrible. There's nothing Hyvaa can do. His entire Hydralisk army just died. It just collapsed, dissolved into the blue ground of Medusa. And really, yeah, I can't see a way back into this game for Hyvaa. I didn't really see a way for him at all because he really didn't do anything with his Hydralisks. All of these players have been letting HiyA just have his way. They've been letting HiyA play his standard play. They've been letting him just build up, push out when he wants to. They haven't been controlling the game at all. And because of this, I don't know, Hyvaa eSTRO in general is in a lot of trouble. The natural goes down, and ouch, this really sucks. This really sucks for Hyvaa, and I love Zerg players. I have to say, I really do love Zerg players because they are in my heart of hearts, but really Hyvaa needs to get his act together. He has Defiler now, but he might be able to plague these units, and plague is quite devastating to mech, but it's not going to do much because he just doesn't have enough bases. He doesn't have anything, really. He doesn't have a Hydra Den anymore. He doesn't have his natural. He has maybe 1 gas, 2 gas at most. I don't know why he's sticking in this game. Actually, maybe I do know why. Maybe he's just whittling away even more at HiyA's stamina. I'm actually quite impressed by HiyA's ability to play through all these games. These games have been quite long. I know because I've commentated them and my throat is getting quite dry. But HiyA has been doing a good job. His playing level hasn't really gone down that much throughout these games. And he really has been doing quite a good job. He's been playing the same standard play, and he's been pulling it off every time. So, good job to HiyA. Really, and this game is over. That's all I can say. And, alright, so Red Terran will win. I'm going to call it now. Red Terran's going to win. And that means it's the Chinese New Year, and we're just celebrating Chinese New Year because HiyA is winning. And there is red Zerg blood as well. Alright, now I'm just not sure what I'm saying anymore because this game is over. It's GG. Those Dark Swarms did nothing really. And yeah, so we have GG from eSTRO again. We have GG from Hyvaa. Hyvaa does not win. And we will be going into set 4. I actually commentated on set 4 already, except it was HiyA versus Magic. Hopefully, even though you've watched that already, you haven't been spoiled for these games. Oh wow, the eSTRO coach, I believe that's the eSTRO coach, he does not look happy. Wow, he looks very worried, as he should be. He's going to have to play Magic, and that's probably why he does. HiyA is looking quite happy though. He's actually been quite a good player, just playing really solidly for his team, and he's already won 3 out of 4 requisite games. So, good job. Alright, see you in the next set.